On day 1, I woke up in a strange building with no memories. I was a baby macaroni penguin with only 5 hearts. Ouch, my cool yellow feathered head. Someone is gonna pay for making my head hurt.
Wakey, wakey, eggs and bacon. And macaroni, it seems. I've been waiting forever for a new player to spawn here. Will you be interesting? Or will you be one of the boring ones who gets snuffed out straight away?
I looked up and saw that a Ravager, an incredibly strange creature, was looking down on me from a platform.
You look like a penguin caught in the headlights. Don't tell me you've never been dragged into another universe to compete in a death game before.
A death game?
Oh yeah, muchacho. I'm Randy Ravager, the MC with the M-O-S-T. Spell it out, it'll make sense.
I tried to get out of the building, but I couldn't. There were no doors, and there was nowhere I could go.
The aim of the game is simple. Even for some penguin-looking dork like you, you're going to be trapped in this icy nightmare world for 100 days. And the only way you're gonna get out of this, other than in a wooden box, is by being the only creature left alive when those 100 days are up.
What? But that's so evil!
Thank you, I'm touched. Take a looky-loo in that chest over yonder. You'll find your starting gear. I even gave you a special ability, which you'll find out about soon.
I noticed a chest nearby and opened it up, finding a stone sword, a stone pickaxe, and a strange helmet inside.
That there's a transceiver helmet, boyo. When you're wearing it, you'll be able to hear my voice anywhere.
Oh, goody.
No sarcasm. Only I'm allowed sarcasm here. I'm going to release you now. And my boys, the Pillager Squad, are gonna make sure you play fair. Remember, only one can survive. And you've got 100 days to do it, baby. Randy, out.
After I equipped the sword and the transceiver helmet, a block of TNT destroyed one of the walls of the special base. Immediately, a bunch of pillagers with firework crossbows poured in.
There he is. Let's give Cobblepot over here some motivation to fight hard.
They fired their explosive projectiles at me, but just before any of them could land a hit, I suddenly warped a short distance past them all. That must be the special power that the Ravager gave me. I better make the most of it and get out of here. I warped away, thinking about how hard it'd be to win the death game and survive the 100 days.
And believe me, Zozo, the craziest stuff is yet to come.
On day 2, I found that there was more to the frozen lake biome than I had thought. The water would be cold for most creatures, but not for a macaroni penguin like me. I swam leisurely in the water until I found a school of flesh-eating piranhas. They swam towards and tried to bite me, and I thought 2 could play at that game. I chopped away at the piranhas until they were fillet fish. The tables had turned. Finally, some good food. The piranhas were a lot more tasty than I thought they'd be, but I guess fish are always a meal fit for a bird. I had barely finished my first meal in this cold and evil world when the pillagers who worked for the Game Master came over to cramp my style.
Hey, Happy Feet, it looks like you haven't got into a fight to the death with anyone on the overworld yet, and we don't like that sort of thing. It makes the pacing too slow, you know?
Get off my back. I killed those piranhas, didn't I?
They weren't players. They were just incidental entities in the world.
Oh, so now you're throwing $10 words at me. I was just trying to fill my belly before I started. That's all.
Well, you would better be full now, because we're teleporting you to a random player in the biome now. Have fun!
The pillagers teleported me to another part of the frozen lake, and suddenly I was standing in front of some kind of deer thing. Hold up, what are you supposed to be? I'm a greater kudu, man. Not to be confused with a lesser kudu. I also answer to Kudu A, Super Kudu, Kudu King, Kudu Dynamite, and Chocolate Thunder.
Thunder.
Oh, I'm confused, alright. And when I'm confused, I get in the mood to fight a guy. Are you that guy?
Chill out, Penguin Man. Get it? Because we're in a frozen wasteland. Anyway, we don't have to fight now. And I'll tell you why after I take you to see someone important.
Someone important? They better be. I followed after Chocolate Thunder to meet this supposedly important person. On day 3, Chocolate Thunder led me further across the frozen lake.
See that camp over there? That's where the Hammerhead Shark hangs out.
The Hammerhead Shark? That'd make a pretty sick name for a metal band.
It's true. That's why he was the front man for the biggest metal band in his universe, till Randy Ravager teleported him here. He's unique among the participants here for one reason.
He's a giant fish on steroids.
Okay, for 2 reasons. That, and also the fact that he survived a previous game. Randy Ravager found him so entertaining that he brought him back for this round. Go warp over to him. Maybe he can give you some advice, or destroy you. I don't know, depends on the mood he's in.
Heck yeah, time to roll the dice. I warped over to the base of the Hammerhead Shark, ready for a big fight. But he actually just looked incredibly sad.
Hello, stranger. Are you familiar with Albert Camus?
Can't say that I am.
He spoke of the myth of Sisyphus, a man doomed by the gods to roll a boulder up a hill every day, only for it to tumble back down. Camus posited that we have to imagine Sisyphus as happy, accepting the absurdity and meaninglessness of his own existence and imposing his own meaning on life.
Wow, that's really deep. So can you teach me any cool fighting techniques?
What? So you can survive this game and join another? Don't trust the words of Randy Ravager. Own rules are mutable. He'll twist them to his advantage. We can only escape if we smash the boulder itself.
I was still confused by the things that the Hammerhead Shark had said, and was also curious if his music was any good, but it didn't seem like the right time to ask. Turning the knowledge over in my mind, I left to try and find whatever came next in this scary, icy world. From day 4 to day 5, I heard Randy the Ravager speak to me through the transceiver helmet.
Attention, all jabronis currently in my death game. If you don't want to make yourself an easy target for other players and wandering mobs, you should construct a base out of some of the Arctic terrain materials. Just my advice, because I'm sick of watching you losers get got without a real fight. Toodles, fools!
Well, when in Rome, or whatever saying applies to being told to build a base in a nightmare death game world. Being a penguin, I used my natural affinity for snow to start constructing a battle fortress out of ice blocks. The base I was building was stone cold, sturdy, and made entirely of cubes, just like me. Once I had constructed the foundation for my base, Chocolate Thunder came by for a visit.
Zozo, I see that you've obeyed the command from Randy. I've come to warn you about a dangerous player that is headed your way.
Dangerous player? Tell me more.
He's a type of player called a base jacker. He waits until another player has built a strong defense base and then kills him to steal their hard work.
Wow, what a jerk. They aren't getting my base though. I'll show this base jacker what I'm made of. Soon, I saw the base jacker coming over the horizon, a surprisingly small mushroom creature.
Hey, you! That's a pretty nice base. Mind if I take it? And your life in the process?
Not today, base jacker, or any other day, because you won't have any other days, because you'll be dead, because I'm eliminating you from the death game. I drew my stone sword and did battle with the base jacker. His mushroom punches were surprisingly strong and dealt poison damage to my hearts. But an enemy that relies on trickery like base jacking couldn't be that tough. As my stone sword delivered the final blow on the enemy player, I felt the helmet vibrate and chime.
Congratulations on your first win! I will now dispense your reward.
I felt my total number of hearts increase to 20, and I also gained another ability.
May your knockback punch chill and destroy your fellow players. You're one cool fool.
Feels weird to be congratulated by such a bad dude, but whatever. New power! From day 6 to day 8, I got another nasty message in my mind. Virtue of the transceiver helmet. It was Randy Ravager again.
Yo, surf's up! But your incredibly lame win count is keeping me down. Didn't you get the memo about this being a death game? Not a let's all braid each other's hair and talk about our dreams game.
Wow, you're not just an evil supervillain, you're a regular old jerk too.
Oh yeah! Both are on my business card, baby. And you're gonna have a bunch of pillagers shooting firework arrows at you if you don't get your keister in gear and go fight. Seriously, I'm dying of boredom over here.
Just because I didn't want to hear him talk anymore, I decided to leave the biome and head to the frozen peaks. With only 92 days left to level up my score, I did need to start some fights. It was a long and treacherous climb up the peaks, but I saw another battle was taking place between an ocelot and a bald eagle. Oh no, the two symbols of America are fighting! The ocelot was holding his own, but the eagle clearly had the advantage.
By beak, by claw, by wing, bye-bye. There's no way you're winning this one, Ocelot.
Please have mercy. I'm just trying to survive.
Oh, what a coincidence. I'm just trying to destroy you.
This seemed like a perfect opportunity to win a victory and stop a bully, so I warped right in front of the eagle. Time for some bird versus bird action. But by the end of this, I'm gonna be the free bird, and you're gonna be, the defeated bird.
A worthy opponent. Our battle shall be legendary.
And it was pretty legendary. We fought in a legendary fashion for a brief period, as I used my knockback punch and swung my blade until I won and he lost. Only one can stand at the top of the world, and it's gonna be me, Zozo. Afterwards, the ocelot approached me, seeming so grateful for me having saved his life.
That was amazing. Thank you, Zozo. I am Ozzy the Ocelot. It would have been horrible if I died there. Back in my home dimension, I was only a week away from retirement, and my wife's about to have twins.
It's okay, Ozzy. I'm sure you'll live a long and healthy life. Also, Ozzy is an anagram of Zozo.
Actually, it isn't. But if you're down to put your money where your beak is, Zozo, there's a really strong death game player lurking a little further up the peaks. He destroyed my whole team, and I can't beat him alone. I need the help of a true master to defeat him.
A true master, you say? That sounds like moi's truly. From day 9 to day 10, I climbed higher into the frozen peaks with my new traveling companion, Ozzy the Ocelot.
Thanks again for beating up that mean old eagle. It was so cool. You were like kaboom and...
Don't make sounds. That's not charming anymore.
Sorry, I'm just excitable, you know. My personality is so naive and relatable. Yippee! Nothing bad ever happens to characters like me in death game stories.
Sure, Ozzy. Why are we out here again?
Oh my golly gosh, Zozo. Did you forget about my tragic backstory? About how I lost all my teammates to a top player in these very peaks?
Oh, right. Sorry. This transceiver helmet is cooking my brain like macaroni, which is ironic, considering...
Considering what?
Where's this player again?
Oh, he's right up there.
I climbed up to the peak, and there he was. Pidgeotto, you know, from Pokemon?
You wanna fight me, you flightless freak? I knew Ash Ketchum!
You're about to know defeat, bucko! I drew my stone sword, but Pidgeotto tackled me so fast that I wasn't able to swing it in time. I was nearly knocked off the peak, and that wouldn't have boded well because I am in fact flightless. I tried to counter with my knockback, but Pidgeotto was just too fast. Well, this is lame. I'm not throwing my one shot at this death game away on this. I ran away from the battle, and being a Pokemon, Pidgeotto respected my decision. I returned to Ozzy the Ocelot, slightly ashamed of my battle performance. Hey, Ozzy, couldn't get the job done. Sorry, buddy. You can come live at my base if you like.
Oh, thanks, Zozo. And don't worry, I'm sure you'll defeat Pidgeotto one day and go very far in this death game, and so will I.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with Ozzy the Ocelot, and we made preparations to turn it into our base by building more igloos with a room for Ozzy. It didn't seem like Ozzy was that capable in a fight, and that would prove difficult for him as Randy's battle game progressed, so I made sure to add a training room so that both of us could brush up on our combat skills. Hate to admit it, but even I need some more training if I'm going to defeat Pidgeotto. While I was at it, I realized that a base made of snow and ice might be too cold for an animal that wasn't a penguin, and so I built a fireplace near the room where Ozzy would be staying, so he'd have a comfortable heating while he lived here. Once I was done, I showed all the improvements to Ozzy. The fuzzy little guy was clearly very impressed.
This is incredible, Zozo. I feel like I probably should have been doing the work, but I make up for my complete lack of confidence with my likability and enduring spirit.
You sure do, Ozzy. Sure do. That's when I heard another message from Randy the Ravager through the transceiver helmet.
Attention, you miserable bunch of amateurs and fools! It seems as though many players have been eliminated in the past several days. That's why, in order to spice things up, I'm gonna be giving out new weapons that complement your special abilities. In the mining caverns beneath your bases, you'll find a treasure chest with your new weapons. Use them wisely and keep on fighting for my amusement.
Oh, sweet. I guess winning so much has its perks, but it's a little messed up that so many creatures got destroyed for this. I traveled down into the icy mining cavern and searched for the treasure chest that Randy had left for me. On my way through, I found an iron pickaxe lying on the icy cave floor. Someone must have left this here. Probably someone who was already eliminated. I'll go ahead and take this for myself. I traveled further down the icy path until I came across a totally normal and unsuspicious spot. I grabbed my new iron pickaxe and mined my way forward until I found the promised treasure chest. Inside was a frozen sword, a special weapon that would let me channel the energy of my knockback punch into a slowing effect. Heck yes! I can already tell this will make me a better fighter in my next battle. From day 13 to day 15, I decided it was time to consult someone who clearly knew a lot more about what was going on here. Chocolate Thunder, the great Kudo male. I don't know the best thing to do, Chocolate Thunder. Feels like days are running out so quickly, and I don't know how to progress forward.
I don't think it's that hard, Zozo. You've just gotta fight. Find another creature to battle and bump those numbers up. Maybe return to the frozen peaks, since, you got a good win there before.
Wait, how did you know I got a win on the peaks the other day?
Oh, don't you remember, Zozo? You told me about it the other day. You laughed and laughed. All this stress must be affecting your memory.
That's a little concerning. Not worrying too much about that, I headed off to the frozen peaks, hoping to find a new enemy to defeat. It's so evil how Randy Ravager is pitting us all against each other. Can't we all just work together and be friends to build a better future?
Wow, I'm a big dumb baby. Will someone change my diaper? I did a big stinky. That's what you sound like to me right now, Zozo.
It was the voice of Randy Ravager coming to me over my helmet. You're so mean, Randy. Is this why you have to teleport people into a death game to hang out with you?
Your insults can't hurt me, bozo. I don't even like people that much. It's why I like watching them fight. It's why this next opponent is gonna be so fun. Will you have the guts to take her on? Or will you run crying back to Mr. Popper? Let's rock!
That moment, a big, scary monster was teleported right in front of me. A mummy scorpion.
So, you're my new opponent? Very well then. I'll have to fight you for my children!
You have kids? The battle began, and it was the most intense I'd ever faced. Randy clearly didn't want me to escape this one alive, and since I was weaker than Mummy Scorpion, I needed another way to get out of this. Wait, Mummy Scorpion, time out!
You can't trick me, Zozo.
I'm not trying to trick you. I want us to work together. You've got kids to worry about, right? I don't want them to lose their mother, whether it's to me or anyone else. Let's work together and escape this thing alive.
Wow, I never thought of it like that. I'll work with you, Zozo. We'll escape this thing together.
Randy seemed angry over my helmet.
Oh,
this is terrible! Friendship? You guys are taking all the fun out of this after I worked so hard to put the whole thing together.
Sorry to disappoint you, Randy. Not! From day 16 to day 19, I discovered a new part of the icy dimension where Randy the Ravager was holding the death game. A frozen river flowed elegantly across the land, leading to more unknown places to explore. I decided to go for a little swim. While I was paddling along, I saw a group of pillagers gathering on the bank of the river. There were no other players around except for me, so I figured it must be some sort of secret riddle. I dove beneath the surface and swam over to the shore so I could listen in on what the pillagers were saying.
Is anyone else getting tired of hearing Randy ramble away about how fun his game is? I swear, if we had to wear those dorky transceiver helmets and receive his every thought, I'd be putting in my 2 weeks and applying for a job with the next evil game master. Let's all just be grateful that the true mastermind is more of a good sport. He's the one keeping the whole shebang running like clockwork. Then again, we don't even know what he looks or sounds like.
True mastermind? I thought Randy was the one in charge of the game, but I guess I was mistaken. I remained hidden and kept on listening.
Hey, don't talk too loud about the true mastermind. If any players find out about him, we'd have to teleport them out of the game and eliminate them ourselves.
Pillagers soon dispersed, and I was left with many questions. I can't risk telling any of the other players about the true mastermind for now. It could put them in danger, or me, if they report me to the pillagers. From day 20 to day 22, I crafted myself an iron chestplate from the iron ingots I made using the iron ore I was able to dig up in the mining cavern. This durable piece of armor would be the last piece of equipment I would need to face Pidgeotto and eliminate him from the competition. Ozzy's teammates will be avenged! I climbed back up Frozen Peak to the same spot where Pidgeotto was still awaiting challengers. I'm back, you mid-tier pocket monster!
Well, if it isn't the flightless freak, I was looking forward to eliminating you.
He flew towards me, but I was ready for his speed this time. I warped behind him and struck him with my frozen sword. The slowing took effect immediately, and now his speed was equal to mine. And with my increased armor, I knew I could outlast him in a battle of hack and slash. We fought each other until Pidgeotto couldn't fly anymore and landed on top of the hill to catch his breath. This was my chance! I warped a short distance and used my knockback punch to knock him off the cliff that was a direct hit on Pidgeotto, and it was just the trick to take him down! How is that for super effective, you Pokemoron?
Your opponent's elimination record was very high, so please enjoy this big reward!
Big was an understatement. My health was raised several hearts, and I gained a new ability as well. With my new Ice Blast, I could freeze my enemies in place. It goes well with my frozen sword. With my knockback punch, I have the perfect combination of abilities to fight any enemies I come across. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to my base victorious and excited to tell Ozzy the Ocelot about the victory I'd gained. Ozzy! Ozzy! Ozzy!
Oi, oi, oi!
I managed to defeat that Pokemon from before, so we're just a little bit closer to surviving this.
That's amazing, Zozo! You deserve to sit back and relax after that.
Little did I know, tragedy was about to strike. As I was walking away, I stubbed my toe on a misplaced block, and it really hurt. That is devastating. I'm never gonna let this happen again. It's time to mine. I descended into my favorite mining cavern, ready to get myself some ore. Iron ore, specifically. Yes, this will prevent history from repeating itself. I took my iron ore back to my base, where I used my furnace to smelt them into iron ingots, which made for the perfect material to forge some leggings and a pair of iron boots. I'll never stub my toe again! From day 27 to day 31, I returned to the part of the frozen river where that group of pillagers were having their secret meeting. Maybe I can find out more about the secret behind the games if I can overhear another conversation from Randy's game mastering goons. I waited and waited. Pillagers never showed up. Instead, I saw another death game player walking along the banks of the river. She was wearing a black-beaked mask like the plague doctors of medieval times.
Good day, my fine penguin. Are you suffering from any illness or injuries?
No, full health. and I intend to keep it that way, lady.
Oh my, no need to be so aggressive. I may have chosen to participate in this death game, but I much prefer saving lives.
It must suck to be a doctor in a place like this.
On the contrary, this place is a paradise for me. Everyone is always getting wounded, so there are always so many patients to care for.
Huh, that's kind of weird, but it's always good to have a doctor around. Would you like to come live at my base?
Verily.
I returned to the base with the plague doctor and built a medical wing for her to heal her patients in. I had to gather some medicinal herbs from around the area so that she could create healing potions. They were hard to find, but it was for medicine, dang it. I had just finished the final touches on the base upgrades when Chocolate Thunder came to see me.
Zozo, you have to come with me. The hammerhead shark is battling with a powerful player and is in danger of being eliminated.
Not the hammerhead shark. He knew so much about obscure mythology. We hurried to the location so we could save the hammerhead shark. From day 32 to day 35, Chocolate Thunder and I bolted across the cold terrain of the frozen lake in order to reach the place where the hammerhead shark had kept his base. This must be one strong player if the hammerhead shark is threatened. He's a returning champion in Randy's game, and as we've already established, he's a giant snake made of bones.
Everyone meets their match one day, Zozo. The hammerhead shark just took an entire other cycle of the game to get there.
Don't talk like he's already gone, Choco T. We'll get there and back him up against whatever deadly foe is taking him on. We hurried as fast as we could. With my ability to warp a short distance, I got farther ahead and arrived before Chocolate Thunder. When I got there, the base had been destroyed and the pillagers had gathered around.
You players are too late for this death battle. The results have already been decided.
What? Where's the hammerhead shark?
The hammerhead shark has been eliminated.
No, but isn't that his body over there? I saw a hammerhead shark on the ground. By the side of his body was a note. This game is not what it seems. Randy the Ravager isn't the same as he was when I played the first time. Thinks somebody has taken over the game and is using Randy. Suddenly, the bone segment crumbled to dust and the note along with it. No! From day 36 to day 39, I went back to the frozen peaks to explore some more. As I was waddling through the area, I spotted the mummy scorpion. Oh no, you're not going to fight me, are you?
No, not at all. I was actually hoping I could get your help. There's a wither skeleton who's been giving me a lot of trouble. I tried to fight him myself, but since our encounter earlier, I've been focused on getting back to my kids. I'm just a single mom, you know.
A single mummy, right?
This is no laughing matter, Zozo. Please, could you help me? One unwilling game participant to another?
You got it. I got some directions from the mummy scorpion and tracked down the wither skeleton.
Oh, what's this? Fresh meat? Get ready to taste my arrows, little penguin.
Why are you so excited to fight me? This is terrible. We're all in a nightmare.
Not me. This is my dream come true. I love fighting and I love games. The deadlier, the better. Heck, I volunteered for this.
Why would you do that? Oh, I guess you just kind of explained that. But I'm here to stop you. I fired an ice blast at the wither skeleton and a knockback attack.
Man, you're stronger than you look. This is gonna be fun.
Stop having fun! He shot an arrow at me, but I dodged it. I finished the fight off with another ice blast, and with that, the withered skeleton was no more. I did it, Mummy Scorpion!
Oh, thank you so much, Zozo. Maybe we'll get through this together after all. If only I could learn who's behind it all.
We know who it is. It's Randy!
No, Zozo. I don't think it's that simple. Anyway, bye!
From day 40 to day 43, I traveled back to my base and saw that something was different. Hey, this place looks spiffier than it did before.
Oh, that would be me. I thought I'd fix the place up a bit while you were gone. Check it out. Bookshelves and couches. Do you like it?
I do. It's really nice. Thanks, Chocolate Thunder. You're the best roommate ever.
Great. Since you're in a good mood, we invite my friend and another greater kudu to come stay with us. Reasons?
Sure, why not? While all of that was happening, Plague Doctor came to speak with me.
Greetings, my friend. I apologize for the trouble, but might I request your assistance with something?
Yeah, why not? I'm a helpful guy.
Along the frozen river lies a most villainous boat, one that I must request your aid in defeating. I will be ever in your debt, good sir.
Yeah, okay, got it. See you later. I'll go sink that boat. From day 44 to day 49, I traveled to the frozen river. I must have been there too early for any of the bad guys because there was nobody here. I got bored looking for enemies, so I went skating around on the frozen river. Whee! I was having so much fun, I forgot what I was doing.
Hey, Zozo! Cut that out! You're not here to have fun. You're here to do the death game.
Oh, okay, I remember now.
Oh, yeah, I bet you do. For your disrespect, I'm gonna make you fight my scariest minion ever.
Suddenly, a big spider jumped out from the snow. Oh no!
Oh, sorry, it was really cold hiding in there. My name is Spider.
Hi, Spider. I'm Zozo. What the heck kind of name is Spider?
I'm like Spider-Man, but I'm all spider, so I'm twice as strong. Sorry, do you have any hot cocoa?
No, I don't. Sorry, I just have a frozen sword.
Oh, neat. If I beat you in this fight, can I have it?
Fat chance, I'm gonna kick your butt. From day 50 to day 53, I had to battle against Spider.
Even when I have the sniffles, I'm stronger than you, Zozo.
Spider was too fast for me. It was the hardest fight ever. But then I remembered that my frozen sword could slow him down.
Oh no! If you defeat me now, I'll lose my mystical diamonds. They're the source of all my power.
Wait, really?
No, they're actually just normal. Ah, you destroyed me. No!
And that was the end of Spider. I even got those diamonds from my trouble. From day 54 to day 57, I went back to my base because when Spider asked me if I had hot cocoa, it made me really want some hot cocoa. But on my way back to the base, I remembered that I hadn't completed my quest yet. Wait, I have to defeat the boat. Back to the frozen river. I ran all the way back to the frozen river and looked around. There it was, the meanest looking boat I'd ever seen.
Looking for a new fight? Well, whatever floats your boat. But be careful, Zozo. With this guy, it's sink or swim.
How am I supposed to fight a boat? Before I could think too much about it, the boat attacked me. Ouch! Yay! Cut it out! Okay, guess we're doing this. I fired an ice blast at the boat and knocked it back across the frozen river. It broke apart into a pile of wood. That was easy. I traveled back home and gave the Plague Doctor the good news.
Huzzah! A gentleman and a scholar you are. In return, I offer you this. From my keen medical knowledge, I have been able to discern that Randy Ravager is not what we think. It is my scientific opinion that he is not an organic being.
Oh, what's that mean?
That our greatest foe is some manner of illusion.
From day 58 to day 62, I decided to follow Chocolate Thunder's lead and make some improvements to the base. I made the furnace bigger and hotter and expanded the training room. Now I should do some good old-fashioned mining. I headed down into the mine and dug until I found some diamonds. Nice! I can craft a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword with this. So that's exactly what I did. Then I headed back home to show off my new gear.
Cool diamond gear, Zozo. While you were gone, I made some more improvements.
You have a great work ethic, my friend.
What can I say? I'm great at building things. Bases, furniture, other stuff. Look, I made a fireplace and a new living area.
Pretty sweet. I'm so glad we're friends. I hope nothing ever gets in the way of our friendship. From day 63 to day 66, Ozzy told me I should go to the ice spikes, so I did. But as with any time I went to the ice spikes, I had to watch my steps.
Hey, make sure to watch your step, traveler.
It was a weaponsmith. Hey, I just said that. How did you know what I was saying in the narration?
I know many things, traveler. fella?
I don't like your attitude, guy. Are you looking for a fight?
I am but the humble weaponsmith. I smith weapons and I say ominous things.
Why didn't you lead with that? I might have some weapons that need smithing.
I would be more than happy to be of assistance for a price.
Okay, what's the price?
$2.
Wow, that's so reasonable. You're a cool dude, Mr. Weaponsmith. From day 67 to day 70, I hung out with the weaponsmith. He told me the story about how he got his eye patch.
I was making some lemonade and I squeezed a lemon into my eye.
Oh, okay.
Now, to business. If you can help me complete my quest, I will return your kindness by fixing all of your weapons.
Whoa, what? What quest? I thought you said I only owed you $2.
Oh, my apologies. I must have misspoke. $2 is the name of a whale monster who floats around the ice spikes and eats people. Quite bothersome. I'm losing a lot of business.
You really should have been more upfront about that, but okay. Just then, a whale went flying by. I went outside to see this big angry whale monster just floating around.
Rawr, I'm $2. Prepare to get crunched.
Hi, $2. I'm Zozo. What are you even doing here, dude? Whales can't fly.
I'm built different.
You should stop bothering the weaponsmith. What did he ever do to you?
I have nothing against him. I'm just really angry.
Why?
It's cold out here, and I can't find the ocean.
It's over there.
Wow, really? Thanks, Zozo.
Then $2 floated away to the ocean. From day 71 to day 74, I felt the weight of being responsible for defeating so many other players in this twisted game of life and death. It's times like these when I long to be in one of my less serious and more lighthearted adventures. And you can find those videos and more by searching ZOZO. That's ZOZO. Enjoy the videos.
Hey, whoa, hey! You can't promote your videos in the middle of my death game. This is my show, you little macaroni loser! So keep on watching to find out which of these remaining players defeats your beloved Zozo.
Hey man, I'm just trying to make it entertaining for the people out there.
And you're doing a terrible job. Seriously? A macaroni penguin? What's next? A ravioli pufferfish? Go home and think about your life.
From day 75 to day 78, I reflected on the fact that Randy Ravager didn't like my videos that much. But you guys believe in me, right? Leave a comment saying how much you like my videos. That would make me feel a lot better. I decided to stop sulking and go see the plague doctor, because if anything could mend a broken heart, it was an expert in fixing stuff. Hey, Doc, what you up to?
I just completed a doctorate in building watchtowers. Here's my thesis.
She gestured to a brand new watchtower in front of the base. Very nice. Seems scientific. I'm gonna go check it out.
May it cure your malaise, Zozo.
From the watchtower, I saw Chocolate Thunder approach. He was carrying an ingot of dragon steel, a metal so rare that no one had ever heard of it until now. This is for you, Zozo. If you combine it with your frozen sword and mystical diamonds, you'll be able to create a perfect, unique weapon for your special abilities. I did a bit of crafting, and sure enough, Chocolate Thunder was right. I had forged an ice dragon steel sword. Just by wielding it, my power increased immeasurably. But to measure it, my hearts were now 100, and I gained a cool laser ability. Thanks, Choco T. You'll be able to eliminate all the rest of the players with this power-up. I expect big things from you, my friend. From day 79 to day 84, I returned to the ice spikes to take a look around and see if Randy was still there. Phew, I guess he's not here right now. I still want to test out my new strength. Come on, somebody fight me. A colossal squid took the challenge, and after a quick fight, I defeated it. Woohoo! A black-footed ferret heard all the commotion and trundled into the scene.
Hey, kiddo, I like the cut of your squid, aka I liked how you cut that squid. There, you should get a gift for being so great at fighting.
Then he gave me a diamond helmet. Oh, hey, thanks, stranger.
Don't mention it. Seriously, don't mention it. I don't want Randy knowing I helped you out. Gotta go.
And the ferret ran away, leaving me with my sick new helmet. I swapped out my transceiver helmet for this cool new one. From day 85 to day 89, I returned to my base and was shocked by what I saw. A pillager was attacking my base and smashing it all up. Oh, no you don't.
You swapped out your helmet, denying the orders of Randy Ravager. Now you must be destroyed.
Really wish you wouldn't do that, but I can't give up my new helmet. It's so cool. Now get out of here. I chased the pillager away, and as I was running, I crossed paths with a leap leaf.
Hey, bud, got a second?
I'm kinda in the middle of something.
Just a quick thing. I'm trying to finish this math homework. What's 6 times 12?
Oh, that's easy. It's 72.
Thank you very much. Okay, can keep chasing that guy now.
Cool. Bye forever. From day 90 to day 94, the pillager is still on the run because I guess it was my turn to terrorize them. I chased him all the way to a part of the ice spikes that I had never seen before, ever. What is this place?
Oh no, the Macaroni Penguin, who the events of this death game have revolved around, has nearly found our control booth. If he makes it there, who knows what could happen?
How about we find out, you pillager jokers? I was about to say and do more cool things when a barbarian showed up. From a glance, I could tell he was the strongest and most dangerous player I had ever encountered. Yeah, ever!
Me, Barbarian, Ultimate Champion. We're that game fight now. Never defeated.
That changes today, you big palooka! Nothing will get in the way of me stopping these games by fighting in them. The barbarian I fought, and even though I had gained all the abilities and weapons from my battles, the barbarian also had powerful abilities and weapons nearly equal to mine. This fight would rage on for days. From day 95 to day 97, the fight raged on. But then I remembered that I was cooler than he was because I was fighting against the game instead of trying to win it. I'm the main character. I am the one who wins.
Barbarian, no think that fair.
Newt, eat laser! I lasered him, and then I used my dragon steel sword to freeze him into a statue of defeat. Now that I've taken care of the final opposing player, I can put an end to this game. Or at least, I think he was the final one. I'm not going to check.
Barbarian, last words. Me kill Hammerhead Shark, but not just cause. Order to my true mastermind.
Oh, that's right! The true mastermind. I guess I better look into that.
True mastermind is person Zozo least expect.
Yeah, that didn't help, Barbarian.
Barbarian, merely pawn in game of life. Barbarian die now.
And he did. I decided to return home to my base one last time so that the plague doctor could treat my many injuries. On day 98, I steeled myself and prepared to go to the control room in the ice spikes. It's time to smash the boulder, just like the hammerhead shark told me before. I need to end this cycle of endless death games, or it'll just keep going and claim more victims. I need to find the true mastermind and defeat them. The plague doctor approached to offer words of encouragement.
Pip pip cheerio, Zozo. I believe you can do this. And if not, I'll keep your memory alive.
Thanks, plague doctor. After that, Ozzy the Ocelot didn't show up. Oh no, he must have been eliminated during the previous attack. That's devastating. Chocolate Thunder isn't here either. I need to get to the control room before I lose any more friends. On day 99, I arrived outside the control room. It was the only way I could potentially end this twisted game without having to fight my friends. Oh, but of course, it wouldn't be that easy. The control room was guarded by more pillagers on each floor, all of them ready to defend their master. How am I ever gonna get past them into the base? It's day 99. If it gets to the end of day 100, we're all doomed. But then I remembered what the weaponsmith told me.
Zozo, remember your starting ability. Warp a short distance and use that to teleport past the guards and into the control room.
Wow, I don't think he actually told me that, but that's super useful. I ran in and warped past the guards, then snuck to the top floor. On day 100, I eliminated the rest of the pillagers on the top floor, then burst into the control room, ready to take on the mastermind behind the whole thing. It's over, Randy. I'm here to defeat you.
Ooh, are you now? What if I said I had one more little surprise up my sleeve? Bet you'd be shocked, shook, shaken to your core.
What are you talking about? All of a sudden, Randy the Ravager went still and stopped talking. Smoke filled the room, and chocolate thunder appeared. Huh? What's going on?
Haven't you figured it out yet? Ugh, you're not as smart as I thought you were. I was living in your house and building your furniture, and you never even had a clue?
What? You're the mastermind? Why would you do all of that?
Come on, Zozo. Motives are incidental. I did what I had to do to make this game more fun. This is the grand finale, baby.
No, I don't want to fight you.
Well, too bad. So sad. You have to give the viewers what they want.
What viewers?
The people you're always whining at to subscribe. Now come on, let's battle.
He rushed at me and attacked, and I didn't want to fight my friend, but I had no other choice. He wasn't the person I thought he was. He was bad, actually. I used my laser blast and blasted him to heck. The fight was over as fast as it began.
Wow, you really did it. You beat me. I'd shake your hand, but I don't really feel like it. Bye, Zozo.
And just like that, Chocolate Thunder, Randy the Ravager, was gone. Pretty sad, but I'll process that later. For now, let's celebrate. I did it. Now I can go home.